So the paper we're using, I'm using it for two reasons. The graphs are pretty good, and the questions are decent, but we're gonna change some of the problems to fit a little bit better. I don't know why the software keeps doing this. I'll write this whole thing out nicely, and then it'll change after I save it. Okay. For the blue one, I'm going to graph them with colors, so hopefully we can't screw this thing up. For the blue one, where do we start at? Oh, second try. Where do I start? Where? Yeah, where? How do I get there?
By going down and the next one.
Just down one, right? Okay. Okay, how do I travel from that point then, Noah?
Go up 3.
What?
Okay, first we need to figure out what is the slope. What is the slope for the blue equation? Okay.
I got it.
Yes. So our slope is negative 1 over 3.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Go up 3.
He said go up 3. He didn't say go up 3.
Okay, it's negative 1 over 3. Guys, every time when we do slope, we're either going to go up or down. And if it's positive, it's up. If it's negative, it's down. And we use the bottom number to go right. If we follow that set of patterns, we will be dead on with our slope every time. So, what's the up and down number? Well, it's a 1. The number is a 1. Are we going up or down?
Down.
Down.
Okay, so we'll go down 1, and then we go to the right, how much?
3.
And we're good to go. And you can work in reverse, but it should be trending downwards. It's a negative line. And there we have our graph. Get caught up. All right. For the red line, Logan, where do we start? On the red line.
Positive 3.
Nice.
And that in the edit.
How do I get there, Jude? You gotta be right. You gotta be cat-like.
Yeah,
Meow.
that's the rest.
I said, where do we start at? And Logan said, positive 3. I said, how do I get there?
Isn't positive 3 the y intercept?
Yeah, how do I get there?
By going down 3.
Positive 3 is down 3?
Positive 3, then go up 3
From what?
from 0.
Yes. From the middle, go up 3, and we're good to go. Okay. What is the slope number, Alex? Nice. Negative 5 over 3. So we know that the slope for the red one is negative 5 over 3. How do I travel using that? Aleska.
What is squeak?
Because it's a squishy toy.
Yeah.
We are going to use negative 5 over 3. How? Yeah, negativo. So tell me like arriba, abajo, derecha, izquierda. ¿Cuánto? Abajo, correct? Yes. How much? ¿Cuánto? Down? How much? 5, yeah. Okay? Then ¿dónde? Derecha, izquierda. Derecha, how much? ¿Cómo se dice how much en español? ¿Cuánto? Huh? Excellent. Wait a second. I did it wrong. Right here. Down 5 over 3. Great. Fantastico. Your arm roto? No?
Is that broke? Is that mean broke?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good.
Hold on.
We're good. No, the answer is 3, -2. Let's not pop the gum. You can have gum in here, I don't care. I just don't want to hear it. Huh?
I said, hey.
Don't want to hear it, don't want to see it. You can have gum. Don't want to hear it, don't want to see it. Okay.
Oh, really?
So what does that tell us? You don't even have to be able to speak English to be able to do this. 3 -2 is the answer. That's great. All right, everybody good? Try this one.
Oh.
Try this one. Okay, the slope of the blue one is -1. Why are we talking?
I know that.
I get it.
Oh my God.
Man, I don't have enough places in the room to put you. No, he'll talk to Hunter. Over there, he'll talk to everybody else. It's not just him. I moved him because Hunter wouldn't stop talking to
What
him.
about Wahoo?
No. So the directions are, that's on camera, so hopefully your parents will watch the video when you're going over stuff. I am recording right now. It goes on YouTube. It gets posted daily. If they saw a day of my life, I think that some people would not be living quite so good. Okay. If there's a number 1 in front, if there's nothing showing, it's at least that there's an X there, so you know there's at least 1. In this case, it's negative. So we have our choices, remember? The choices are, do we go up or down? In this case, it's negative, so we'll go down and right. With the red one, it's real similar in that there's a -7 there, but you gotta put it over 1. It's still going down and right. That's your baseline. So we'll start on the red one at -3. And you might say, well, coach, I can't go down 7 and over 1. You can estimate. You know it's going to be somewhere down here. I ran out of room. Then work backwards the other way and keep it traveling the same direction. Up 7 over 1. Erase your little scratch work and you still graph the line. Sometimes the point when they give you these graphs that are only 5 each way, that'll happen. Make sure yours looks like mine, because these are your notes. Did you see what I see a lot of students doing is I see a lot of you guys putting down the graphs. I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing all these arrows and basically directions. I see a lot of people that don't have A's or B's that aren't writing the directions. Add the directions to your notes. Like, unless you're crushing this course, you need to be writing every single thing that I'm writing down, and you're also supposed to write more than that. Use your own words to give you directions. All right, let's look at the blue graph. This one, the blue one, starts at 3. And it's down and over. But look, to find the answer, you got to work backwards 1. You may recall that I've mentioned you should go backwards and forward the last unit. The solution is here. Make sure you're good to go on that one. Add these notes somewhere on your paper. You don't need real graphs. You can just sketch them. These are the 4 types of linear graphs. Every line that you graph will look something like one of these. It either has, well, I'm sorry. Again, I originally wrote it and then the software screwed up and now there's green. So this one is the positive slope graph. This one is an example of a negative slope graph. You don't need number lines, I mean, just the X and Y axis are fine. This one has a zero slope, it's Y equals a number. If it had a zero for the slope, which it does, it's 0x plus whatever the B value is. Well, this part goes away because it's 0 times x. And the last one we call undefined, because like the positive slope, it's going up forever, but like the negative slope, it's going down forever, and there is no number that is a giant positive and a giant negative at the same time. The number system breaks. The only numbers that we have in our real number system are positive numbers, negative numbers, and zero. So there is no thing that can describe this. So we use undefined, and we say there's no slope. Really, it's infinitely positive and infinitely negative at the same time. So now we're going to do two examples of vertical and horizontal lines. You can cross out number 2 and number 3. Again, I'm sorry, this is the software being bad. So cross out the algebra for number 2, we'll use these two. And cross out the algebra for number 3, we'll use these two equations. And go ahead and graph them using the notes that we just wrote down. All right, so let's look at the first one, and then I'm going to call people on the second one maybe. Let's go to x equals 5. Where do you find x equals 5? Where do you find x equals 5 on the graph? The x-axis is right there, right? So travel which way? X equals 5 is right there, and it's a vertical line. So it's right there, up and down. Oops. That's x equals 5. Now y equals, the y's are here. And all their hash marks look like that. So the line actually ends up being horizontal. And you find 2. Yeah. Yeah, straight across that 2. And now the solution, you've got to be able to write our solution. It's where they cross at. And they cross at 5, 2. These ones should be the easiest, but only if you've memorized that vertical lines are up and down, and they're x equals a number. The horizontal lines are left and right, they're sideways. And that can be tricky, because all the time on the x's we're going left and right, but then the horizontal line is y equals a number. It throws people off. So here we got y equals -4, so it's right here. And then our red example is at -3. X equals -3. And then our answer is right there, -3. -3 comma -4. And that's our point of intersection. How are we feeling so far? I mean, it's supposed to be reviewed. This is supposed to be something I don't teach. I'm not supposed to teach this in 9th grade. I'm not. Because you guys did this last year, right? But if we're not at least competent at this, we're not going to be able to do the graphs that I'm supposed to teach, which includes shading. So part of our test is going to be this stuff, which is going to be the next unit is this stuff. Because we can't do what I'm supposed to teach you if we can't do this. So because I'm going over it, I'm gonna include it on the test, even though it's 8th grade standard. We're gonna be doing shading and inequality stuff with our graphs, but we're gonna work our way towards that. All right, the next two that we're gonna work on is the final. Whoa! I didn't erase my notes. I thought I did.
Wait, I need to look at that.
Yeah, good job, Kim. Thank you. Thank you for the extra. All right. I don't know why this system is so messed up. All right, we're going to do 5 and 6. I'm not going to change the problems. Go ahead. Just went over 5. This is what you should have had. Red when we start here at -4, go up 3 over 2. The blue one you start at -2, and it's a positive slope, so it's up and over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and then we also work backwards a couple times. Then we got the solution, which is 2 -1. What's up? What did I miss?
Braxton's cousin.
Somebody almost yelled at us.
Braxton's cousin.
I am not.
That's what you might have think from now.
He said,
Okay, let's move on.
Aaron, what the?
I didn't hear it. I'll talk with Miss Kitchen tomorrow. I can handle it. I don't need your help.
You got it on video, we're good.
All right. Here we start. Where do I start, Kai? On the blue one. Where do we start? Number 6, blue.
You start at 0 and you go down.
Correct. So that's where we're gonna. That's our y-intercept. What is our slope value? The slope is -4. Can we use that as it is? What do we need then? You're right. Well, but over here, one of the first things we did, hello? One of the first things we did is we looked at our fraction, and we said if it's positive, the top number's up. If it's negative, the top number's down. And then we always go right. So let's consider that. Do we have a fraction? Do we have a fraction? No. So how do we turn -4 into a fraction? Oh, I'm so sorry. -3. We already wrote that down. It's -3. How do we turn it into a fraction? Put it over 1. So, but since it's negative, we go down and right from the spot that Akai gave us at -4. So let's think about this. If I try to use the model here that I've given you, what's going on, George? What are we doing? Okay. If we try to go down 3 over 1, we're off the chart. So just put a test point there. I know it's not good. And work backwards. And go backwards. And then look, it's still down 3 over 1. Down 3, right 1. From left to right, we're still following the same model with these points that we generated. And this scratch work when you don't need it. So we're still going down, right, down, right, down, right. Even though the first point doing that didn't work good on the graph. You can just do a little scratch work and then work backwards following the scratch work. Where do I start on the red one? Evan?
The red one.
Yeah.
You start at the y-intercept of 1.
Correct. What is the slope? Davis, what's the slope number here? The number in front of the x. On the red one, the number to the left of the x. There's x. What number is before it? It's a 2. Is that a fraction? No, Noah, how do I make it a fraction?
It's 2 over 1.
Put it over 1. It's positive. Do we go up or down? It's up. And then I always write. So we'll start that, we'll go up 2 over 1. I'm not finding the intersection, so we're gonna have to again work backwards. Down 2, left 1. But even if we work backwards, the general trend from left to right stays the same. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. There's our stairs. Do the stairs ever change? For this graph, will they ever change? No. That's called constant rate of change. And that's what slope is, and that's what lines have. Our solution is the intersection point, which is -1, -1. All right. Any questions about that? All right, so you'll have an online assignment today, and I believe it's probably active. You may begin.